All right, guys, welcome back to Crossman Productions. Man, guys, I am excited about today. I've been waiting to talk about Power Slap 12. There were some great matches. If you guys haven't seen it, go to YouTube, look up Power Slap, and watch all the events that happen. There's some great fights. So, um, I wanted to reach out to one of my buddies, Anthony Blackburn, Babyyface. Bring him on. So Babyyface didn't get to compete on in this event, but he was there as a spectator. So he got to actually watch all the fights from the stands and see him up close. So I'm going to bring him in, and we're going to talk about some of those fights. What's up, brother? There it is.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, brother? So,
man,
go ahead.
You're enjoying this beautiful day, man. We just got outside. We just got through this crazy first of the year tornado drill for about 5 minutes. It was blaring, pretty wild, but beautiful day outside. Can't complain.
Cool. So, we're talking. We got a lot to talk about, brother. So, Power Slap 12 had some really great matches. First of all, what was it like going to Power Slap 12 as a spectator this time instead of just as a competitor?
So being able to be on the spectator side this time was, obviously crazy experience for my first time being Power Slap 12. It was unbelievable, man. If I could say, if anyone wasn't a fan of Power Slap, go to a live event, give it a try. Because if you're not a fan after you're there live, it's just not for you. Then you just don't need to be watching combat sports.
Right. Everybody says that too. That being there live is just the electrifying, atmosphere and. All the people that's there, everybody's supercharged. It's just, it sounds like it's just a crazy event. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and then obviously I'm walking around there with the belt on, taking pictures with all the fans. Everyone's coming to Babyyface, holy crap, and taking pictures with the belt, and just having that whole experience as being the champion at a Power Slap as a spectator was really, really cool.
Right. And I was going to ask you about this too because you won welterweight championship belt. You got it from Nunes. What was that? How's that journey been like so far? I've seen you like all over social media. All these places that you've gotten to go to. Tell us a little bit about that ride. How has it been so far?
I mean, it's crazy. It's a crazy journey to be on. As someone that has zero experience in any combat sports prior and not doing anything really, super adventurous in life, it's been really, really cool to be able to soak in everything and try to use it as a learning experience, really just an avenue to create new experiences and have new things to enjoy in life. And it just, ever since I've had this climb and everything's happened and everything's fallen into place. Now I've got the belt. Mind blowing, really. It's really it's a huge like upbringing in your spirit, right? Everyone's calling you champ all the time, and but it's something that I have worked towards. I earned this, and it feels really good.
Cool. So what's the coolest thing you've gotten to do so far?
Oh, Power Slap 12. How they flew us out a little early, me and Wolverine. So I got to coach some of the new strikers with Wolverine in a little training camp for a few days prior to Power Slap 12. That was really awesome. Getting some of the experienced guys in there too that have had a few matches, and some of the locals that live in Vegas coming out and having the opportunity to train at the Apex. Can't pass that up. So them showing up and getting some work in with us and just having our expertise and being able to spread your knowledge and experience in the sport with other people that are coming up too that was really fun.
I talked, I talked to Wolverine about that too. About you guys going in early. Well, I didn't know you went in. I know he went in early. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not doing, but working and coaching with some of the new guys, upcoming guys. Is there anybody that you've seen out there that you're like, man, people need to watch out for? This guy when he's
these women, dude. Some of these women strikers that are coming in new. They're pro MMA fighters or bare knuckle fighters. Man, they are fierce women, and that is exciting for me. Is watching them come in and really ask questions. They really attentive and practicing hard. They were training, slapping really hard for the few hours that we were there. And it showed on stage too. You got to see it during the pre-recorded matches. There was not as many fouls and a lot of cleaner strikes, and you could tell that some work was put in prior leading up to it.
Right. And that kind of reminds me of the Page fans and Michael Michelle around their fight.
See how technically solid their fight was.
Right.
They're putting in work.
Paige said at the end, she was asking Dana to bring a belt so that they're actually competing for something. I agree with that. I'm glad that there's more women starting to get in there so that they can actually have their own divisions. And, people like Jackie and Sheena and Paige and, all these Chelsea, Dotson, all these competitors actually have something that they're working towards, like the men's division.
And it's going to happen. It's just going to be a lot of this, building up. It takes time, and they have things so planned out in the future that it's like they got boards set up for months in advance on like what they're going to post for this certain day and when they're going to announce certain things. So it's a big waiting game, because a lot of us are so gung-ho and ready to get after it. And it's, a brand new sport that's blowing up. We're still only 2.5 years in, 3 years in. So it's just a waiting game at this point, to where we could slow it down a little bit and let everything unfold. And once it all starts unfolding a little bit better, it'll be awesome for the future.
Yeah. And if any of you guys haven't seen, Dana White was featured in Forbes magazine.
Yeah,
it goes over his whole journey. Even with the UFC and going into Power Slap. That guy's a genius. I mean, the way he sets things up, and the way he plans this stuff out. And he was saying that Power Slap is way ahead of UFC when the UFC first started.
Yeah, I think that just goes because of all the actual work that he's put in, and he built up the UFC over the last 25 years. Well, now all that learning experience that he can use towards Power Slap is benefiting tenfold, because you're seeing how crazy fast we're going up. We got all our new sponsors, like we got V-Chain. That's a huge sponsor where it changed the whole title to where it's V-Chain Power Slap 12, not UFC Power Slap 12. So it's differentiating ourselves from UFC now even more so, and becoming our own brand is, that's something that is going to be big time huge for us.
Wow. Yeah. I talk about this all the time, especially if you look at Power Slap 6, which was right after the Super Bowl. And now we're at Power Slap 12. Just the growth between 6 and 12. I think they expanded that 6 was like a milestone, where it grew so big at 6, and then it's just expanded all the way, to 12, and now we're out of the country. Now we're not, we're not just in Vegas, they're in, Saudi Arabia and, Abu Dhabi, and they're going around the world now.
So yeah, with that, I think it's awesome to go overseas. Obviously, that's really cool. The huge partnership with Saudi we have, and the guaranteed events that we have over there. I'm excited to travel around the U.S.
Right.
We have all these sanctioned states that are popping up, and I think they're really working towards Florida. That's why we haven't scheduled Miami yet, because they're really getting it. They're really finalizing the sanctioning there, and we have other states already opened up, and we're just got to get the event scheduled now. So I think, and that plays a part to where we got to be a little patient and take our time a little with things and see how it unfolds, because they got it all planned in their head.
Yeah, I'm waiting because I know they're sanctioned.
It's hard, man.
I know they're sanctioned in Texas. I'm waiting for them to get here in Texas because I want to go to a live event here in Texas.
And there's tons of strikers in Texas. We got Brian Ellis, we got Alan Klingbeil lives in Texas. I just this past summer moved Debo from Texas to Missouri. So, I mean, we still got people down that way.
Right. Yeah, so I'm waiting. I want to go to, I want to be like you, man. Go to the live event.
I'm ready to go to a live one again, man, after the first one. I'm addicted. There's nothing like
it. When you do the show and talk to everybody, live, I mean, in person. But anyway, so Power Slap 12, we had some great matches. I'm going to ask you, what was your favorite match of the Power Slap 12?
My favorite match was Bordeaux versus Quinones, middleweight champion, bringing it home to the mitten, baby.
Right. And that right there, I mean, there were some really tough matches. The Trujillo and McGregor match
Dakota.
That was a tough
dog fight.
And then the Quinones and Bordeaux fight. That Brandon, that dude is a beast. To be able to get his nose broken.
Yeah. Did you see the little clip when the doctor was like wiping his nose away? I think the cut man was there wiping his nose away, and he did like a sniffle or something, and it just spurted out. Right. Oh man, that was great. I've never seen anything like that happen, and I don't know how it worked. Like how did it has to be a blood vessel running down through your nose, and it just broke skin. I don't know how it happened that way.
Yeah, that was a brutal slap, but and normally we're used to when they first started, they would have called the match for that right there, because of the cut.
If they can't continue, yeah. The doctors really have all the say when it comes to, when they're looking at you and determining if you're able to go. It's ultimately their say. You can argue however hard you want to, but playing it off and looking the part kind of probably helps you out in that sense. When the doctor comes on stage, you kind of got to, all right, sober up. Time to be good to go, So it definitely has to play a factor.
Yeah. That's why I say that guy's a beast, man, because, he came back, he knocked out Quinones, which, if you watch the first match between the two, those two are like evenly matched.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Either one of them can take it any given day. It's just who's on point that night,
Right. And that's the thing too that I talk about. With Wolverine and some of the guys that come on here, is that because even the Barn fight, those guys are totally evenly matched as well. And Wolverine took that one, but it's all you look at what Vegas is saying, the odds of Vegas is saying, and then you look at people's numbers. At the end of the day, it's either going to be your night or it's not.
And a lot of people say the coin toss has a lot of effect on it. I say, a little bit, but you can't really bank on that getting you the W. Right. As a striker, you have to be ready to lose the coin toss and still try and win the match, So it really, as a bettor, I would see how if you win the coin toss, my money's going with that man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Right.
as in the betting aspect of it, that coin toss is huge. When it comes down to when people are really being successful betting and they're hitting all these parlays with people that aren't winning the coin toss, that's the ones that are really banking. You know, if you're winning all of them and really studying these fighters and doing some research and seeing who's in the gym and grinding or posting little details on their slap or, you know, life updates, whatnot, who's going through stuff, it all plays a factor. So when that ends up being a bigger role in the sport, when we get more fans and more bettors and stuff like that, it's gonna be interesting to see how it unfolds.
Right. I was just thinking, Wolverine has never won a coin
That's
toss.
always lost, but
Yeah.
wins his matches.
Yeah. So that's the thing too, is I think a lot of it's the mind frame too. And you see a lot of these guys coming in, like there's a lot of guys coming out as underdog. You was an underdog when you came against Manonis.
I've been an underdog for a bunch of my matches, actually. It's pretty awesome.
There's a whole people underestimate you.
I like it.
And you still took it, yeah.
It kind of drives me. It kind of like when I see that underdog up on the board in Vegas, and when I see it online, and when I see people making or hear people making bets against me, I'm like, should give your money away, bud. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring it on. You're losing today. It motivates me more.
That's what I'm saying too, because whenever you went against Muniz, you could see the determination in when you were up there. You know what I mean? It's I think it's a mind frame, and I think that that you could tell when a competitor is hungry and they really want that win. And that's what I saw in you when you did it. And then now, when we talk about some of these matches, like with the KO Chris Thomas, the way he came in, that dude was pumped up. You know what I mean? And the dude's hungry. And so let's talk about that. So he came in. I mean that. Well, first of all, Devo did come in overweight, and I hate when a competitor comes in overweight, because that, to me, that's lack of respect. You know what I mean? I mean,
partly yes. I get where you're coming from. Yeah.
Because all these guys are training. I say the same thing about Austin Turpin. Him keep coming in overweight. So. Chris came in and took that one, and Chris was so pumped up, and then he came back afterwards, and he stopped and talked to you. What's it like knowing that these guys are gunning for your position, brother?
I love the energy. I love the atmosphere that I was in, and being able to have the belt there and have that moment because I was as soon as he knocked Debo out. Right. And I give him all the praise. I hope hope Chris is turning a new leaf and getting on his game and really coming back after this belt, because I want all the bets and I want it all. That's what I started out. This is why I signed up, was to test myself against the best. I want to be the best, and right now I am, and I want to face the best in the future. So and I really hope it's put a drive in him, and he's turned a new leaf, because that was an impressive win. And as soon as it happened, I was yelling, "Get down here, come here!" And I was, waiting for the face. I wanted the face off, because I knew that was going to be a cool moment just to be there and able to make that happen, because it hasn't really happened in Power Slab yet. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool to. I was waiting at the barrier, and he jumped down. I was like, "Yeah, finally, it's gonna happen!" And then I waved him over, and we did a really nice face off. And he said, "I gave you your shot." Like, he's the mate. Like, he pretends he's the matchmaker in the situation. He doesn't make the matches. Right. He didn't give me the shot. I said yes when the opportunity was given to me. So he said, I get my shot now. So I said, I don't make the matches, but if she did say, "Hey, KO Chris, you ready?" Well, of course. That's That's my job, is to pick up the phone, and when whoever's making the matches, whoever calls, says, "Do you want this person?" I only say yes. I've never said no. I've never said anything other than yes. So when it comes down to that, and if he does get his title shot, I'm saying yes, and I'll be ready. So I hope he's really getting after it and really training and turned a new leaf, and he's on the uprise.
I'm curious to see if they're going to give him another match or if they go straight to the title.
And the rankings just came out. So the rankings just updated, and they kind of, I feel the rankings are there to stir up a little controversy, maybe light a little fire under some certain strikers' bums, but if that is the case, it works because people hate when the rankings come out. And, there's got to be so much thought that goes into when they do update these, because it's far and few between when it happens. We got to wait for an event to happen usually. I think they nail it down. They can't be too far off of what's for real, So I respect when they come out. I'm not really one to be, oh, these are wrong, and I should be here, I should be there. I'm not really one to argue in that sense. I'm just making my case to why I should be at the top when I go up perform,
But at the same time though, with Power Slap, they don't always go do the matches by the rankings. You know what I mean? Sometimes somebody who's lower in the rankings gets a better shot than somebody who's higher, because the match is going to be would draw more attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. That's got to be, that's good. That's only one aspect of why they choose it. You got to have some kind of draw.
Right. So, and that's what I was thinking. If they're going to give KO Chris another shot, like another competitor before he has to come to you, or if what you guys did on Power Slap 12 is enough that they're going to be like, hey, this is going to be a title match. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, the argument right now is, all right, so I've beaten Manny for the belt and then beaten him again.
Right.
That one we can put to bed for a while.
Right.
KO Chris, I could see why they would not give him to me right away, because Manny did knock him out.
Right.
So there's that argument to why he doesn't get the title shot right away. Cole Young just got a pretty good knockout as well, and they were kind of ranked near the same. So I could see them having a little match. Jewel Scott's been up at the top, and KO Chris, he claims that he turned fights down with him, whatnot, blah, blah, blah. He's still right up there, He's been right up there for a long time. So I could see them having him and Chris go at it finally, if they already had 2 scheduled matches and he pulled out twice, supposedly. Finally link them up and let them get after it. Other than that, Azael coming down from middleweight, and he claimed the 2nd spot in the rankings. People are kind of butthurt about that because he hasn't had a match at welterweight, hasn't made the weight yet. Blah, 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 blah. He can make the weight. He's never been a not make weight type of guy. He's already working on it. He was at Power Slap 12, 180 pounds, same as me. So he can make the weight. I like that matchup. I think that matchup would be good for like an international fight weekend if they make it. Him representing Mexico.
So, you got a lot of tough people. That's trying to go into the in this division that to go up against.
Big target on my back. Big old bullseye.
So and that's the thing too. What's it like knowing that all these people are gunning for you?
Man, it's been, you know, it's cool. It's motivating.
Right.
The one thing is, lately, certain people have been making posts. You know, I'll take any of the publicity. Any publicity is good publicity, but claiming on, you know, I had made the claim along. This has been the claim since I started. The hardest slap that I've taken, and the closest I've ever been to being beaten, was my very first match. Jimmy James Jumps Santa Maria hit me so hard that I time traveled. I forgot, or wasn't. I didn't recollect a half hour of my life. I was on stage finishing the match, autopilot. Did not recall. I don't know what happened after he hit me. So I got these other people, Cole Young, saying because he cracked my orbital because he hit me in the eye.
Yeah.
So he's trying to claim that he hit me harder because he broke my face and I was suspended for 6 months, blah, blah, blah. Dude, it doesn't make you cool that you broke my eye and put me out for 6 months. If anything, that's probably not what the brass want, because they don't want to pay everyone's doctor bills, you know?
Right.
And hitting someone in the eye like that, you know, in the match, everyone could see it wasn't cool.
Right.
Everyone would pretty much frown upon it now.
Right.
But it was nowhere near having me not recollecting where I'm at. I didn't know where I was at for a half hour of my. I woke up backstage of the Apex with my duffel bag around my shoulder, getting on the bus, staring at my paychecks after Jimmy hit me.
Wow.
A half hour after the match ended.
Wow.
And like, I'm sorry, but no one's hit me harder than that. It just hasn't happened. You can break my face. You didn't hit me that hard. I was out on my feet, you know.
Right.
Any of my other matches, any of my other multiple slap matches that I've had where I've taken 5 slaps to the face, nowhere near any kind of danger like that.
Wow. So
just weird little things that have coming up. People are trying to get under my skin, I feel like, and I'm just paying no attention. Like, you guys are talking out of your asses. I'm the one that took the slaps.
Right.
How are you gonna no?
Right.
It's just funny to me.
I saw the post, and I saw because you posted a picture of your face.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you about that because, obviously that was a club. Because the way he hit you, that's not a slap, that's a club. And we talk about this all the time. Is when somebody clubs an individual, and then to me, there's got to be they need to do something about the clubbing, because once you get clubbed, that already takes a lot out of the person that got clubbed.
It's very hard. It's a touchy subject.
Yeah.
Because in the end of the day, it's not up to the strikers. It is, but not the ruling, you know. It's up to the judges. It's how they rule it. So, and I'm not going to say I've thrown some not so clean slaps.
Right.
Have I been called for any of them? No. I've not been called for a single foul against me in my whole slap career yet.
Right.
So it's just kind of like an honor system, basically.
Yeah.
You got to kind of give the other guy the benefit of the doubt. Like, all right, well, we are hauling off, hitting each other as hard as we can in the face.
Right.
And we're not supposed to move. Hit me in the right spot, like hit me on the cheek or the jaw, not the eye, because that's the worst part. You get hyphema. As soon as you get hit in the eye, you get hyphema, and half of your vision is gone.
Wow.
Just like, what was the fight? Henry Cejudo. His recent fight.
Yeah.
He couldn't see. That's exactly what happened to me in that fight versus Cole. And then in my fight versus Manny, that first slap where he hit me high in the eye and I told him to bring it down, after that, I had 50% vision the whole match.
Wow.
As soon as you get hit in the eye one time, it's hard to see.
Yeah. You know, some of these guys, some of them, I think, do it intentionally. They try to get that one club in because they know that gives them an advantage. You know, to me, I don't want to call out anybody's name, but you know, there's guys I think that does it intentionally. And then there's guys that, you know, I get you if you make a mistake. You know what I mean? Like if you hit somebody like, you know, like if somebody hits like Wolverine or somebody with a big beard and they miss, okay, I might give you that a little bit. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of guys. Well, I don't want to say a lot, but there's one particular guy I'm thinking of that I think that does it intentionally to see, you know, get at least get one out of, you know, one club out of every match.
It's what it seems like, you know, and it might just be the way they swing, might just be the way they practice. They might just be practicing one certain swing, one certain strike, and that way, the way it lands just doesn't land flush and clean. It, you know, it just, it's going to happen. You're going to have that in a sport where we're solely doing kind of, you know, one kind of strike, and it's a game of that's an inch difference. You know, this is clean, not, you know, there's a little bit of leeway there, not very much play.
So as a coach, like when you're talking to the new guys, how do you train them to not club or prevent from clubbing?
You give them examples. You give them real match examples. And then we even had, like, Mark Smith was there, the head referee. He was there with us at the training camps, physically training with the athletes as well, able to sit there and break down with my little dummy head that I use and train with, and Bob, and explain to the strikers, new or experienced, what they view as a club. And he openly admitted to, yeah, we make mistakes. We're human. We're not going to get every single call.
Right.
But it's up to you as a striker to be responsible and have integrity, you know, because this is a sport where there's human judges. We're going to miss some calls.
Right.
And he made that very clear. We're going to miss some calls.
Right.
But, you know,
talking about having like the dummy head, you know, in preparation, I think that like if I was a competitor, I would of the actual person I'm going against, and then try to put that head at that height and just keep practicing.
And that's exactly what I do. I have, you know, I'm fortunate. I have a coach that I practice with and strike with, you know, so he's able to hold it at that height, and he's, you know, taking the hits and giving me feedback on how it's feeling to him. If, you know, placement, we're recording each of our sets, you know what I'm saying? So it really makes a difference having someone there to critique what you're doing, to try and get better. So it's not just a false, like, oh, I'm out here practicing, I'm getting better. And, you know, we're actually making progress because we're visualizing what I'm doing wrong, if there is something I need to correct on, or we're just able to dial it in and tweak certain things and make it better. So it all just depends on how you're practicing and who you're practicing with. Having these training camps and having people experienced in the long run, when they you know, they start these more frequently, you're gonna see a lot of these strikers benefit more from it.
Right. You know, too, I've seen an improvement in you know, fouls, other than flinching. I say a lot of flinching, but as far as the clubs go, I've seen a lot of improvement. You know, if you even go back from, like, you know, power slap, maybe 9, 10, 11, you know, 12 didn't have as many clubbing fouls. You know, you still have these guys that you know, flinch and like to roll their head with the, you know. But
flinching, that one's a little harder to teach, you know, because not everyone has the same mentality when it comes to taking a slap, or
Right.
some people are trying to roll, and it's different when you're out there training. I wasn't out there trying to teach people what I do. I'm trying to teach people what they want to do better.
Right.
And give any kind of feel. It wasn't like I'm taking over and you should do this. It's I'm trying to benefit you. How do you want to learn? How do you want to get better? What do you need to practice on? What do you want advice on? I'll give you my experience. That's what I was there for.
Right. So, but I've seen improvement in it, and and it's the thing. I think that's another smart move on Dana's part, is to bring in guys like you and Wolverine to coach these guys, a week before the event, because you can see a difference. You can see a difference. I remember, a couple of power slaps ago, where we had so many fouls. People were disqualified for fouls. Nobody wants to watch a match that qualify. People are getting disqualified. They want to see somebody actually win. So,
right.
So I've seen a big difference. There's a big improvement on that.
Well, we had it was different this time too. We had a full 8 pre-recorded matches before Power Slap 12 even started. So it was like a full day of one pre-recorded bout, and then the whole Power Slap main card came in. So I was there for, dude, it was like 7-8 hours of slap.
Wow.
It was wild. Wow. I lost my voice like pretty much after the KO Chris match. My voice was gone.
I told me too. I was like, I hit him up right after the match, and he was like, he'd been yelling so much he lost his voice. He had to take some time away, just to recuperate from the whole thing. So
it takes a couple days after the event. Oh yeah, it takes a couple days.
So but the match I wanted to talk about that I thought was the greatest match was the Frank match with Montoya.
The Frank and Slap Shady.
Yeah. It was funny because the Frank came out there arrogant. The dude was arrogant. You know what I mean? He came out there, did some rap, whatever he did. I don't know what he was up there doing. They did, put on the show, and they get knocked out after that. You know what I mean? Seeing people like that come in there and being that cocky, you know what I mean, and get knocked out. I mean, to me, the guys with the big loud mouth that talk a lot of trash. We're actually going to do a segment. Start doing a segment called "Walk the Walk" or "Eat the Chalk." And we're going to take those guys and talk all the trash.
I like that name. That's good.
And see if they're able to actually do what they say, or so we're going to start doing a segment on that one. But anyway,
I like that. So yeah, I mean, in this game, it is very, very important to have that cockiness. You have to come out and believe that you're going to win, just like he did. Because if you do anything other than that, then you're probably going to end up getting knocked out anyways. You have to, even if it's a false confidence, you have to have it, because you can't go up there any kind of question in the back of your brain, dude. And others will tell you the same thing. It's a lot of people try to put a percentage on it, a mental game. It's 80% mental, 20% physical. It's some kind of weird percentage, but the mental game, the mental aspect of it, definitely a bigger factor than the physical aspect of it.
Right. So it's to me, just seeing all these people come in and talk that trash. Like there's a difference between like him coming in and talking trash and losing, and KO coming in and talking the trash and winning. You know what I mean? There's a difference. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so him getting knocked out, I was kind of glad to see him get knocked out, just because of how arrogant he was.
It's a cool storyline. A lot of people will, grow to like a sport like that, because it might be something they're relating to. It's very relatable. The loud mouth got knocked out, and they're just that's a cool thing that people can really relate to the sport, and it's super easy, and then anyone can do it.
Right.
But then my favorite part was Slap Shady's fucking. He just stood there for like a good 3 minutes. It was like, dude, 3 minutes. He just was, fuck you, and it was awesome. And it was like, he came in, and it was all the training camp too. He was kind of like by himself, kind of staying away. I even went up to him. I said, hey, get a couple strikes in over here. Yeah, reluctantly, kind of. He came in through some strikes, but then he went back and was doing his own thing mostly. And, I wasn't trying to badger him and force him to do anything, let him do his own thing. Yeah. And, some people have that silent killer, type of attitude and mentality, and he definitely brought it out. That was wild. It blew my mind. I was like, whoa, holy crap. Holy crap.
So and the thing is, it's good for the sport too, because you have to have the villain, the people that people root against, and then you got the people that people root for. So I get the reason for it. So it's just it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch, and
that one was really fun. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So well, cool, man. So what's next for you?
Okay, what's next? Okay, me and Wolverine are gonna be running another camp. End of the month, beginning of May, and then I'm just waiting on the phone call, waiting to see who they decide to put me up against next, and then as soon as I find out, it'll be setting the height. Getting the height set up and getting into camp, because I'm ready. All these people have got this bullseye on my back is huge, and I'll tell you what, I'm more motivated than ever to shut all you guys down.
Man, and I'm glad too, man. I'm glad because I know how hard you work for where you're at, and it says a lot that all these people are now trying to come and get your belt.
Mm-hmm.
That says a lot. It says a lot, from your progression, from the beginning to where you're at now. So, I'm glad, man, and I want to see you retain that belt, dude.
I think that they think that I'm the easiest target. Bring it on, baby.
Right.
Keep thinking that. Keep thinking it.
Well, cool, man. So, you have your merchandise now. Did I see some new shirts?
I don't have anything new right now. I really want to do like a foam finger. I need to figure out something, man. We need something cool, some cool merch. I need like a Michigan shaped foam finger with right on one army on it or something that people can just start collecting. Something cheap,
Oh, wow. Right. Oh, speaking of collecting, the cards.
Oh, yeah.
Have you got any of your cards?
Yeah, actually, we did get some at Power Slap 12. One of the other strikers, Fabricio, he pulled one of my one-of-one printing plates. Yeah, so I bought that off him.
Cool. Yeah, see, those cards look they look so awesome, man. I'm about to get a box and just see.
Oh, dude, they're sharp. They are super cool. Some of even the non-auto base have the cooler backgrounds, like rainbow background, or some of them have handprints in the back design. It looks like some of the base ones are cooler than the autos. I'm like, man, I need eBay. eBay's got them, man.
Right. So I'm gonna get a box and see what I can collect. But well, cool, brother, man. I appreciate you taking the time out, man, and being on the show. If anybody wants to follow you, what's your social media handles that they can reach out to?
On Instagram, Babyyface Power Slap, and then Facebook is just Anthony Blackburn. Everything else should be Babyyface Power Slap if I got it.
Cool.
Thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, It's my pleasure, brother. I've been waiting to talk to you because after I saw you and Chris, I'm like, I gotta get the Babyface back in. Talk about that whole thing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool interaction. I liked it.
Well, cool, man. I appreciate you, brother. You're welcome on anytime, man. So, and best of luck, dude. Best of luck with all these matches coming up, man.
Awesome. Well, when we find out some fight news, we'll have to get on for a catch up so we can get something, get some hype built.
All right, cool, man. I appreciate you, brother. All right, guys.
All right.
Remember, you guys are uniquely designed with a purpose, and always keep moving forward. Peace, guys.